The Constitutional Court celebrating 30 years since its establishment. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver a keynote address at this morning's ConCourt 30th commemorative event. Let's get more from SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga, who's on that story. Good morning to you, Canny.
Good morning to you, Leanne, and to the viewers at home. Quite a milestone that will be marked by the Constitutional Court this morning as it celebrates 30 years since it was established by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. This is quite a major event because this is the key institution to upholding and protecting the values of our constitutional democracy. Of course, when this Constitutional Court was established in 1995, they hit the ground running with that first vindication of the right to life, the right to dignity, and the right to be protected from cruel and torture processes by ridding society of that particular death penalty. They found that in reference to the Constitution that the death penalty was indeed unconstitutional. Of course, there are many more rights in the Constitution that have been vindicated by this particular court. That is the right to dignity, the right to equality, the right for prisoners to vote, and many more that we've seen this Constitutional Court come and vindicate with respect to the Constitution. So essentially what we're celebrating today is those milestones, and then of course reflecting on the various challenges that we see in our democratic order today. We know that the establishment of this Constitutional Court came at a time where the country was transitioning from apartheid to a constitutional democracy. Of course, at the time, you may all know that the judiciary that represented the apartheid government was a judiciary that was predominantly white and male. Of course, when we transitioned into the constitutional democratic order, it was important that this particular panel of judges reflected a diverse nation of our country in order to dispense justice accordingly. Of course, those transformation targets are still ongoing, and we see the judiciary continuously trying to meet those particular targets. But of course, this milestone is quite special because it is led by this particular court's first woman top judge, that is Chief Justice Mandisa Maya. So that is the kind of event we'll be celebrating today. Of course, we'll be discussing many things such as the challenges that the judiciary has faced, and of course, a more important factor as we reflect today on the Constitutional Court, that although this is quite a prestigious court with a rich history, of course we are seeing a climate where it has faced scrutiny in terms of the judiciary, and of course we have seen a climate where this particular court has struggled to attract the kind of candidates that would be needed to fill those permanent positions here in the Constitutional Court. You may remember that in the previous term of retired Chief Justice Zondo, he introduced that practice that did exist in the past of bringing academics, lecturers to come and act in the Constitutional Court in order to fill those vacancies and ensure that this court is fully capacitated. We know that when those interviews took place, that particular candidate did not make it to that final bench appointment, and we know that in the last leg that the JSC was unable to secure the required shortlist in order to continue with those interviews in the previous leg. So we haven't seen this prestigious institution be able to attract those kinds of candidates, which is a cause of concern for a number of stakeholders. But of course, there's many more to discuss throughout the course of the day as we celebrate 30 years of this critical institution, with the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, expected to deliver the keynote address at 10 a.m. Of course, SABC News will be giving you those visuals as soon as it begins. Over to you in studio.
Thanks very much, Canny. So remember, we will continue to also bring you some coverage from Sakina. She's based at the Constitutional Court as well this morning.